Hey you guys, welcome back to Married to Film. Listen, here's part 3.
Oh, that's how.
Hey, he was about to kill him.
You let some things slide, you look the other way. You bust a drug dealer that has more cash than you'll ever earn in a lifetime. Some of it doesn't make it back into evidence. So what? You took a taste, so did everyone else. And that wasn't dirty. I was. Everyone was in that precinct. That's how it worked.
Wow.
You turn in your buddy, you're screwing yourself. You go along to get along.
But you said Matt didn't.
No, that's the reason why they killed him.
Not Matt. Fensky got to Hoffman early. Kickbacks from some gang or another. Protection, basically. Hoffman went to Maddie. Offered to cut him in. Only fair, right? They were partners.
He said no.
And Matt did what you'd think. He agonized. And then he came to me. Wanted to go to the IA, do the right thing, shut him down.
Let him? That's why he got killed, because he was going to try.
No.
No.
You talked about
No. I told him, you know what a cop fears most?
being
More
turned.
than getting shot, more than anything.
Being turned.
Prison. Getting locked up with everybody you put away. You threaten a cop with that, you make him dangerous. And that's what I told him. I talked sense.
What?
No one was getting hurt. But if you go to the IA, if you didn't look like you're going, you had a wife, a kid, responsibilities, take the money, do something good with him. I tried, but he wouldn't listen. My boy was stubborn. My boy was strong. And he was gonna get himself killed. No, I told him I did it too. But I was like Hoffman, getting by. That's what you heard that night. Me talking him down, him kicking and screaming until the fight went out of him.
Wow.
He put me up on a pedestal. And I had to show him. Yeah, I was down in the gutter with the rest of them. Broke my boy. I broke my boy. He went to Hoffman, he took the money, but he hesitated. Even looking like you're doing the right thing to those two meant that he wasn't solid, that he couldn't be trusted. I got Maddie to take the money.
And got him killed.
And they killed him 2 days later. He was the strongest person that I ever knew. He would never done it, not even to save himself. I was the only one. I was the only one that could get him to debase himself like that. And it was for nothing. I made him lesser. I made him like me. And the bastards killed him anyway.
Hoffman and Fensky.
Hoffman and Fensky.
If they killed Maddie, who killed them?
Who you think?
You know what happened.
Okay.
The question is,
What you gonna do with that information?
can you live with it?
Can you live with it? Wow. Dang. Absolutely.
That was the best acting job I've ever seen him do. That was amazing.
And we've seen him do
A
some
lot-
great scenes
Man.
in Breaking Bad.
And just throughout his career. Because he's been in everything.
Yeah, and throughout his career. But
Man.
that was very well executed.
Man. That was really, really good.
as he was pulling at my, I was like, I'm not gonna cry, cause my lash is already falling off. So I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Saul was only in it for like 5 minutes.
And that's all we needed.
That's all we needed.
That's all we needed from him. To deliver what he did.
Yep. Spill the coffee on him.
Spill the coffee on the detective, so that he can get the notes. This was, the name of this one was 5-0. So far so good. I think this may have been my favorite episode. So this one was about, you know, the cleaner, as we've called him before in Breaking Bad series. It was all about him in this one, and his backstory as how Maddie died, which was his son. And now we know that he was Mike was a police officer also in Philadelphia, and that he was a dirty cop. And at the beginning of this episode, he was favoring his shoulder, and Ralph pointed out, he was like, he's gotten a shot. So as the story went along, we found out how he got shot and why and by whom. But this was such a good storytelling episode, because it would phase out as he was walking, and it would go into a different scene.
Yeah, good shots. Yeah.
Absolutely great shots to the transition, going into different scenes and stuff, because they would have the back of his jacket, and then it would show something else that, you know. But it also showed him the scene where he was leaving his daughter-in-law's house after he yelled at her and said,
My son
was not dirty, and he walked away. And then as the story went on, it showed him coming back to the house, and it was later in the evening, and then he went in there, and you can tell that it was more of apologetic, but he wanted to come back and explain to her exactly what happened. The cops were questioning him because they wanted to know, did you know anything about Fiscal and
Finsky and Hoffman?
I was about to call them Hamburger and somebody else. Those two cops. Did you know anything about that? And he was like, no. He said, I was on my way to New Mexico. I was, in Kansas City or something before I even knew anything about it. And they were like, oh, okay. But the only lawyer that he had was McGill, his card. So, of course, it was like, they asked him questions, and he was like, lawyer. They asked him another question, lawyer. So when they got him in there, and McGill gave him the coffee. I'm sorry, I'm backtracking. But when he gave him the coffee, he said, that coffee is not for me. It's for you. This is what I want you to do. So he gave him the plan as to how he was going to retrieve the notebook pad from the rookie. No charges pressed against him. I mean, no charges charged. He walked out, and he was like, yeah, okay, whatever. You know, because clearly they can't do anything. They're in New Mexico, and they're from Philadelphia.
Really, they just fishing.
It's not their jurisdiction. He was like, I'm sorry that we wasted airtime for you guys. I mean, flying time or something like that. But this was a waste of time for you to come out here and question me about something that happened in Philadelphia. I wasn't even there. I was on my way out. But he did say that he seen him at the bar.
He said, yeah, I was halfway, the end of a bottle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This was a really, really good episode. To clear up anything that we thought that was going on, because I figured that he had a restraining order.
Oh, yeah.
From the last episode. I thought it was a restraining order, but it was not. It was just a simple fact that she called the police. She found money. So she thought that her husband might have been dirty. She said she doesn't even care if he was or wasn't. She loved him. And she could care less about all of that. But Mike, being the person that he was, and because of the situation, the story that he told behind that, he said, my son wasn't dirty, I was. And he said, I was the only one that could talk him into doing it, because he would have ruined it for everybody
everybody
was going on. Yeah, he said you go along, you get along, and that's it. And he said, and he had him convinced to take the money, and he said, and those daggone bastards killed him anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, hey, she said, so what happened to him? He said, the question is, can you live with it?
Mm-hmm.
He said, you already know.
You know what happened.
You know what happened.
Can you live with it?
But can you live with it? That was a really good episode, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Yeah. All right, so let us know what you guys thought.
I'm sorry. Do you have anything?
No, that's it. I'm good to go.
You sure?
I'm positive. Yeah.
Because there was some other conversations within that, but I can probably go a little further into that conversation in the next episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. See y'all next time. Love y'all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Wake up.